So it's a roll of expensive,
wire.
yeah, like the heavy duty expensive wire with how many T-posts in it?
About 4 or 5 right now.
It's probably faster, but is it easier? Oop, there's a rock.
You run?
No. Nope, I think we just open it right there. It's like 2 or 3 in the afternoon, which is pretty much peak heat hours here. And oh, I'll have to show you guys those. Huxley is actually napping right now, which he almost never does during the day. Did a tree just fall down? Okay. Yeah, which he almost never does anymore. I don't know what this phase is, but he goes full blast all day long. Oh, and I don't want to bring him outside with me because it's so hot. And so it makes it challenging to get things done. And so I'm going to take advantage of this, addressing the pool that you don't know about. I just posted a TikTok of Ben working on this pool, and it's like kind of blown up, especially considering how quiet my TikTok account has been in recent months. Really all my social media, I guess. It just, for whatever reason, the algorithms still escape me. A bunch of people have been really interested in the video. I have been wanting, it's been on my to-do list to tell you guys about this pool project. So let's go ahead and do it. Not the pool that I think a lot of us were expecting. This was previously an in-ground pool. And when I bought the place, it was totally with the expectation that I would dig it out and just have an in-ground pool again, because that was like the only thing this property didn't check off on my dream list. I don't know why they filled it. She was a master gardener and ended up putting just a bunch of rows of potted roses on here that she was selling. But there was there's 60 acres that came with this house and plenty of room. So that it wasn't necessary. Obviously, wish that they had just like covered it and left it, but whatever. They filled it with dirt. We got the quotes. We got a quote. It was really hard to find people that would even come out and look at it. And the person who came out was a little bit misleading up front, because I made it really clear that our interest was getting quotes to dig out and potentially repair the existing pool, which he was like, oh yeah. Shows up and without doing any investigating, just says flat out like, yeah, no, we aren't going to do that. You know, just too much to repair. And also I only work in Guynite and this doesn't look like it is, but I don't know how you could see, you can't see any of it. Whatever. He's the expert. So he goes, so no, we wouldn't even consider repairing pools that have been filled in. So the quote is for demoing the whole thing, hauling it all away, breaking it all up, and then putting in a new one, Guynite only. $190,000. 190. 000 houses with pools are less than that. Well, the housing market's crazy, but you get the point. That's ludicrous. I was like preparing myself for it to be 50,000 maybe or something. I don't know. I mean, without having any real knowledge, to get this thing repaired and up and running. And even then, that was a big pill to swallow this year. It's not like a priority. So we wanted to have an idea of like what we'd be looking at financially for the future, I guess, at that point, at that price. When he said that, I was like, forget it. Nope. 50,000 was probably going to be a nope for right now anyways. but there's no way. Big old, absolutely not. And I joined an above ground pool group on Facebook, and these people love their pools and they have beautiful pools. They landscape around them. They've had them for years and years and years. They're lower maintenance. They're safer if you have, like we have, toddlers and pets. Obviously in-ground pools, you need to put a fence around, but still, like, there's risk of animals jumping or kids climbing or whatever falling in. This, you'll notice, we keep the ladder inside the pool so that there's no way for a child to climb up into it. So that just gives us some peace of mind. So it's safer in that respect. Homeowners insurance likes it a lot better than in-ground pools. It also, you know, it's kind of a trial run. We're hoping to make it last for maybe 5 years. And if we've used it enough, and if the kids have used it enough in that time where we think it is a sound investment and our other big household improvement priorities are done, maybe we'll revisit it. But I mean, I get it. Like, there's a reputation that comes with these above ground pools where, you know, maybe they're not as classy. That was Ben's big thing, is like, they're an eyesore. I don't want that. You can see I am now in the process, and what I'm about to do right now, of trying to make it look a little nicer. But it is a very, very hidden little cove off this back side of our house. Not that even anybody drives by, but like, if they did, they're still not going to see it. I love it. I actually want to get in it really bad right now because I'm already hot. So this was from Costco. It was $4.99. It's the 12 by 20. I did buy a, was it 10 by 16 originally? And that was just going to be way too small. I'm so glad that we didn't bother setting that up or anything, because in doing a little more research and seeing pictures of people using it, it would have been way too small. So I think this is a good size. We had the 4 of us plus my mom in it the other day, plus all the floaties and stuff. And like, it was full, but not terrible. And so yeah, it was $4.99. Came with a sand filter, which eventually we'll probably want to upgrade, but I think for this first year it's going to be just fine. It came with the ladder, a solar heater cover thingy, and then just a regular pool cover. That was probably about the best price I could find. So I was happy with that. They were almost sold out of them when I went. And so I was not actually really planning on buying the pool that day, but surprise. Because yeah, they said they were not getting any more shipments in, and they only had like 2 in stock. So to give anybody some advice who are never considering an above ground pool, disregard all of this, but I'm going to share with you all of the tips and tricks that I learned from the months that I spent researching this. First being, I'm topping this off. You can see it's not, the water level is not quite to that line, and it is pretty important, especially with an oval pool like we have, that you keep the water topped off to there, because you can kind of see there's like some bowing, just slight. That's absolutely normal during the filling process. And even when it is completely full, I still see a little bit in people's pools, but filling it all the way pushes the pressure out more evenly, distributes it, and so that does correct itself. Obviously round pools, that's not a thing. Having said that though, we're on well water. You can opt to pay, like I know fire departments, I think, or there's just water services even will deliver water to you. That's an option. We have a really good well, really deep. Even still, I was super paranoid about it, and I spent like 2 weeks filling this thing, which drove Ben nuts. But we have animals also, and water troughs we needed to top off and make sure that we always have plenty of water for. So I did this super slowly. This, an RV water filter. If you are on well water, get one of these. They're, I don't even know, I think $30, maybe for a 2-pack. You know what? I might make a whole little list if people are really that interested. And just so you can go to my Amazon and get all of this stuff. So the RV water filter, most well water, while it's clear when it comes out and it's perfectly safe for drinking, we've had our water tested. We actually had to for our home study for adoption. When it is introduced to your chlorine, people will have filled a perfectly pristine, clear pool, wake up the next day after adding chlorine, and it will be brown, absolutely solid brown. That's just it reacting to the metals. Very worried about that because it can take days to then try and correct. This is going to save you so much trouble and also money and chemicals. We've not had that issue. Obviously, our water stayed clear, except that I do need to put the vacuum back in here. And that's the next thing, vacuum. I don't really have the time to come out here and vacuum my pool every day. If I did, I would go with the Max Pool Blaster. Again, I'll put that on the list People love them. And I may get one anyways, just for the times that I'm in the pool to do like super spot cleaning. But otherwise, I bought a robot vacuum. It was like $70 or $80. I need to pull it out right now because it's dead. So I need to pull it out and charge it. And that's a pain, but like not that big a deal. And it does a pretty good job. That's going around. Obviously, you're gonna want your pool net skimmer thing for the top. We get bugs in here. This is my chlorine floater. We're just doing 1 puck of 3-inch puck of chlorine in there once a week. I just check it to make sure that it's still in there. These little things, I mean, really, I think this is like a magic eraser basically, but I have a few of them floating in here, and you'll notice they are no longer white. They're supposed to just absorb oils and stuff. So I have 3 of them floating around in here. It's kind of gross that within like 20 minutes they turn that color. That may also be a little bit of the metals that are still in the water. I don't know. This is just a solar water fountain light thing that Huxley got for his birthday. As far as the construction and setting up these pools, biggest thing that I learned is to not use sand. In fact, some of the pool manufacturers will void the warranty if they find out you use sand, which is crazy because I feel like that was the standard, the go-to. Everybody gets a sand base because it's much easier to level sand than like dirt. Unfortunately, sand shifts a lot because it is so easy to level and manipulate and move around. We're gonna go back to the shade for a bit. It will settle, especially if there's any kind of water, rain, anything like that. It washes away, it settles under the weight of the pool, and so you end up with a pool that is no longer level and supports that are no longer level. There's a couple different like crushed, fine crushed like granites and things, crushed cement. I don't know. We didn't use any of those, so I don't know exactly what it is, but there are a couple different forms of like crushed material that you can put under your pool instead. We opted to rent a mini skid steer, also do a couple of kind of crazy, as seen in the video, tricks to level out our very solid red clay dirt. Not easy, but like this isn't going anywhere. And it helps that we have this brick pathway that went around the pre-existing pool, so it almost acts like a little retainer wall. So it's really not going to shift. It is solid ground. So level. And when you think it's level some more. And it's the worst job you've ever done. Ben will attest to that. You guys know how much Ben has done around here, the barns he's built and everything else. He said halfway through the leveling that this is his least favorite thing he's ever done. It's grueling. But our pool is now like within an inch of being level. And the importance of that is that it's not putting uneven weight distribution on your support beams. You may be able to get by a season or 2 seasons with an unlevel pool and the supports will hold, but eventually, again, we would like to not have to redo this for like 5 years. So with that in mind, we leveled like crazy. Once it was level, we got the heaviest duty tarp you can possibly find, put that down, and then we got foam insulation boards. We did 1/2 inch. I almost wish I'd done an inch from Home Depot, and did Gorilla tape on all the seams on both sides. And that is what our footing is under this pool. So it is not touching anything and nothing is growing up through it. And our liner is super protected. So that's all very important. The other thing, outside of sand, possibly the most important thing, and everybody skips it because the instructions don't even tell you this. You've got to, under all of your supports, and you can't really see, where's the side you can see it on because I started landscaping. Here we go. The back side. Under every single support, you need to put something solid. A lot of people use pavers, but I also see a lot of pavers that split and if the weight isn't quite even. And so the other recommendation I saw was pressure treated wood. Been kind of worried like the longevity of that. Obviously, when it's, even if it's treated, if it's in contact with the ground and the water, like it could rot away eventually with this much weight in particular. So the composite decking, absolutely your best solution. And it's not that expensive. You need like 1 board. This is what you're gonna do under every single one, small piece of the composite decking. For this, you'll notice it's flush. So you want the bottom of your support to still remain flush with the bottom of your pool. If you were to get like a paver that's this tall, you're gonna have to dig down into the ground to lower the paver so that it matches up with the same height of your pool, because you don't want your posts being raised up above, because then they're holding so much of the weight. They're almost trying to like lift your pool up off the ground essentially. And that's not going to end well. They bend, they break. This is our filter. We did, and here instead of sand, we used filter balls. And I can't speak to whether they're actually better or not. I just saw a lot of people swear they were. I am a little bit unimpressed because now I found out afterwards that we have to take them out and wash them sometimes, which seems like a pain compared to sand. Sand you do need to replace, well, I don't know, like once every year, 2 years, whatever, to keep it clean. Allegedly, the filter balls work better than the sand. We'll see. Some of the other upgrades that I have purchased or will be purchasing, the canopy. Everybody on TikTok is asking about this canopy, and I can't believe more people don't use them. I bought that before we even bought the actual pool. So that was, I think, like $70. It said, and they make them for round pools too. It said that it was only up to 11 feet, but our pool's 12. And so I was holding my breath about whether it would work. Absolutely. No issue whatsoever. Works great and just keeps, I think, the water a little bit cooler and also gives us some shade when we've got the boys out there. The Tractor Supply floats that you've been seeing in the background. I got every one of every animal. So cow, chicken, pig, and each one comes with, well, they're buried right now, but like a little cup, floating cup holder that absolutely does not hold anything. It tips right over. So they're just cute. But these are really big. They were on sale for a little bit there, and so I got them, I don't remember, 20 bucks or something. I have a fountain coming, both because it's pretty, but also the main thing is it's going to help keep your pool water much cooler. I've got that little holder thing attached to the side for drinks and phones and whatever. The skimmer. You can get a skimmer basket, but you shouldn't. And when I say this, we haven't installed ours yet because I'm a little bit scared. You have to cut a hole in your pool liner, which seems like such a bad idea, but it's not. I know it's not. Number one thing that everybody buys, it seems like the biggest upgrade outside of potentially upgrading your filter if you didn't get a sand one, is like an actual skimmer attached to the wall of the pool. I'm gonna go get another load of pavers out of my car. Yes, you need to know this too. Do not put gravel, pea gravel, any kind of rock around the exterior of your pool for landscaping. So we've got this is rubber mulch. That is the only thing basically that is safe to put around the very bottom of your pool, because you get those rocks and you think about it, even if they're smooth, people are walking on them, they're being shifted, they're rubbing against your liner. And so that's just, compromising the integrity of it over time. And traditional mulch, which would have been so much cheaper, is water retaining. And so then you're looking at holding moisture and water right up against those metal support beams constantly. And that's really bad for them, can create rust. Of course, like one of the most expensive options, rubber mulch. That's the only thing you can really put up against it. So we're gonna be putting that all around it. I'm working on doing weed barrier all around it, and then the rubber mulch and the pavers. And then we're going to be adding some plants and stuff too. We don't want any grass in this area at all, because I've read too many horror stories where people are mowing or weed eating and they hit a stick or something, sends it flying and slices the pool liner. I'm making it sound like these things are super fragile, and they aren't. It's not the cheapest, especially all said and done when we rented the equipment, bought all the extras, did all the landscaping, whatever else. We're still looking at probably a couple $1,000s. And so still want to get our money's worth and years of fun out of this thing. And so anything I can do to protect and baby this pool, we're going to. You'll notice I'm also in the process of painting it. So that's a big reveal. I really liked the look of some of the painted ones. I just may not end up finishing it until fall. Standing out here painting it. If I could paint it from inside the pool, that would be different. Actually, I wonder if I could figure out a way to do that. I think that's probably going to be a couple months from now we'll finish. Sorry, man, it's going to look like this until then. Now that I'm already sweating just from being out here talking, let's go get the pavers.